YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So let's talk about why you feel like an alien, why a chosen one of God feels like an alien. So you've been walking around the earth ever since you were born, and like you've had this certain feeling inside of you, this certain feeling inside your spirit where you kind of felt like an alien in a way, like you just felt different, you didn't know what it was. And you do certain things of the world, you go to school, you would go anywhere, you would do, the things that the world does, all the stuff the world does. But like there was a feeling inside you where you're just like, man, I just feel different. Like there's something like different. I don't know what it is. And like you kind of feel like an alien on earth. You feel like something different on earth. The reason you feel like this is because, as I've said in many of my videos, you were separated by God according to his purpose. He made you different. He gave you different spiritual gifts, different type of gifts to you that not everyone has. And this is nothing to boast about. A chosen one isn't someone that's superior to anyone or anything. God gives different gifts to different people. Everyone's got a different gift. And some people, God gives like a higher purpose, a different type of purpose to them. So if you're chosen by God, that's what it means. You're chosen by God. It's not that God completely favors you over other people. God treats people equally. God treats everyone equally. But there's some people God says, like, no, I'm going to take him or her out this world. He or she's going to do this, and this is what he does. And so if you know that you're 100% sure that you have been chosen by God for a purpose, you feel like an alien. You've been feeling like an alien ever since you were born. And like whenever you were younger, you didn't know this. You couldn't put it into words what it was. You just knew something was different. You just knew like something was different about you, and people could see it too. That's why like you've had these weird moments with people where like they'd be saying the weirdest things to you, or like they look at you a different way, or they treat you a different way. They could have treated you extremely highly, or they could have treated you out of spite and hatred and envy and all that. But you felt like kind of like an alien your whole life, kind of like different. Like the reason you felt that way is because since he pulled you out the world, God pulled you out this world. Ever since you were born, you were separated. Since you were born, everything about you was different. Your whole spirit was completely different. Is completely different. And like you may think this now, if you're watching this video and it hits your spirit and you know it's true. You may feel like this. You may feel like this still, and like you'll always feel like this. But now it's coming to the light that it's true. That everywhere you go, you probably feel just different. You feel like almost like an alien. Like you see everyone's walking around and doing their thing, and like everyone doesn't seem to have any doesn't seem to, how do I explain this? Doesn't seem to see anything weird about the world or different. They're just fitting in. They're walking like, nothing's going on. Like they're just walking. And then you come around, chosen one of God, you come around, and then you just like, you're looking at everyone and people are looking at you, and you just feel different. You're like, what is this feeling? Like you feel like this alien kind of, you feel like this kind of like, that's why I said in one of my old videos, chosen ones are kind of like celebrities. In a way, it's because of your spirit. You're kind of like a celebrity. When people see you, it's like, they're like, who is that? Like there's a whole different type of spirit to them. Like, who is that? And yeah, you feel, the reason you feel like this alien is since God's with you, God's hand is on your life. He gave you his spirit. He gave you a different type of this. You're a whole different type of person. Like you go around a lot of people, and everyone seems to be completely connecting with each other. Everyone just seems to be just fitting in. They're just fitting in. And then you come around, and then like it's just you by yourself, and then all eyes are on you, and you're like, okay, this is weird. And people will look at you and say, they'll just say the weird things to you. They'll be like, who are you? Or like, some people have even gone far enough to say like, what are you? And you're like, what do you mean, what am I? Like, I'm a human, I'm a creation of God. And then people will say that, and then ever since you're young, it's probably happened to you where people have like chose you to speak. Like you may have walked into like a place, and this has happened to you ever since you were young. I know if you resonate, I know it's happened to you ever since you were really young as a child. You probably walk into a place, right? It could be like Could be anywhere. It could be a library. Maybe you went to a library, get a book or something. Maybe you went, I don't know, when you were younger, got a video game or something. Or like wherever you went, a grocery store. And like nobody's talking, right? Like everyone's minding their own business. And then you go around and then you might be chilling by yourself and like looking for, say you're at the library and you go sit down and read. Or like you go to the grocery store, you get some food. People will just start kind of like talking to you. It's like people have this curiosity to you. That's why I say like chosen ones kind of get seen as like an alien in a way. They get seen as like something, people could see that you're this different person. They just don't know what it is. And you probably have situations where like nobody's talking to each other and then you come around and then people just start speaking to you, start asking you questions, start just like randomly talking to you or coming near your vicinity, and you're like, why does this happen to me? Like I don't see this happen to a lot of people. It's because when people see that, because people see it before you do. People see, you know that you feel different, but you don't know what it is. But people see it before you do. That's why you'll have people just speak to you. Like you'll be a complete stranger to people ever since you were young. But they would speak to you like without any, just they'll speak to you with curiosity, or like if they're really confident, they'll speak to you without any fear. They'll just like come up to a complete stranger and just start speaking to you, and you're like, why don't I see this happening to many people? And you're like, why does this happen to me a lot? Since God took you out the world, put his spirit inside you, that spirit is really bright. It's really bright. It's really calming to other people. It makes people feel calm. And like, since that spirit is really different from mostly everything you see, it's mostly different. Your spirit's really bright. Like, you know this, it's really bright. It's loving, it's kind. You have the fruits of the spirit to you. So when people see you, they don't know what it is. Like if it's a good person and it's someone that's not wicked, like someone that doesn't really do wrong, they'll come and talk to you like a friend, and you're like, and you like it. You're like, okay, I'm glad people are speaking to me. But it's like, how come I see all these people around, and then I get spoken to, like I just like get spoken to for no reason. It's like I don't even want attention. The reason this happens is because, yeah, they see that spirit. They see that they're like, they know something's different about you, and like they just get this curiosity to speak to you and just like find out about you, find things about you, because you kind of like intrigue people in a way. You kind of just make people curious about you. You kind of make them like, they get these questions in their head. They're like, who is that? Or like on the other hand, you've had since you're really positive, bright, you have a really bright spirit from God. You have a bright spirit from him. You're positive and everything. You may have gone around certain places and people see that you're different, and then people could have like just hated on you or like scoffed at you or just like try to put you down or try to just like hurt your feelings or whatever. Like they also do that out of spite. That's why I always say chosen ones either get hated or like they get loved by people. It's like there's really no neutrality. It's like you're kind of like polar in a way. You're kind of polar to people. And yeah, since you got the spirit of God, he chose you. He set you apart since birth. He sets you apart since birth. He's like, this one's going to do something different. And since he did that spirit just shines all around you. People see it. People do see it. And sometimes they don't know why they act a certain way. Like you'll get people who get mad at you while they don't get mad at anyone else. They get mad at you for no reason. It's like, and this usually happens for people who do wicked things, They know that what they're doing is wrong. And when you come around, since you're this light and you got this spirit, people feel exposed. People get angry. They can't humble themselves and say like what they're doing is wrong. So when you come around them, like they get angry out of pride. They're like in their mind, they're like, oh, I know this person. Like something about this person's different. Like I can't hide from this person. So they protect themselves. They protect themselves around you. So you might have people who just like go off on you or like try to put you down, try to say mean and evil things about you, try to just try to hurt you or whatever, try to do all this stuff. They protect themselves because since your spirit is so bright, you're kind of like this walking light to people. That's why I also say you feel kind of like an alien, and because you feel totally different. Your whole spirit's totally different. And then you'll go around certain people, and then depends who they are. This is also, it's since you have such a strong discernment to you, they know that you can see who they are. They know that you can see who they are. That's why you've had people who are good and they like you a lot. They speak to you all the time. They love speaking to you. Or you have people who are wicked and they do evil things. They know what they're doing. They're full of sin. They love doing sin. They do stuff that's wrong and they know that's wrong. Whenever you come in their presence, they get this convicted feeling to them. They're like, man, I know I can't hide from this person. So out of pride, they're gonna go off on you, or they're gonna try to avoid you, or they're gonna try to, either they'll avoid you because they feel kind of like this weird intimidation, or like they're gonna go off on you and try to put you down, try to like project their things on you. But yeah, as a chosen one of God, since he chose you for a different purpose, like not everyone does the same thing. Like some people are made to fit in and just live a life. Like they still live good lives. They probably do what they like to do, or like maybe they have or maybe they don't like to. Maybe they don't do what they like to do, but they still make a living and they're fine with that. So majority of people fit in, right? They don't have a trouble fitting in. They just fit in easily. But as a chosen one, you're called for a different purpose. You're called by God. So that's why you feel like this alien, is like nothing connects you. You're like, man, I do not fit in here, or man, I can't even do that, or I can't do this. You're called by God, and if you answer that call, then you're chosen. And the chosen one, you probably answered that call, and you said yes, like you answered that call to God. When God knocked on your door, you're like, okay, yes, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna follow God because this is what He asked for me. And also as a chosen one too, your experiences in life kind of leads you to this destiny. Like that's why you go through all these tribulations, you go through all these trials, all this pain, all these traumas, all these like setbacks, all these negative experiences. They all lead you to it. Because God, like, how do I explain this? So God will not let you not fulfill that destiny. He won't let you. That's why you're chosen. If you try to go the other way, circumstances are gonna come right back to God. Then you go right back to God. Then you're like, okay, I need to do this. Because He chose you, you got to fulfill that purpose. But yeah, with that purpose comes a lot of things you have to do. Comes a lot of things you have to do. That's why you feel like this alien too, because you're chosen for. He gave you these certain gifts for a reason. That's why you feel different. But yeah, I hope this explained it really well. This is kind of why you feel like this alien. You feel like this. You just feel like something different. You don't feel the same as other people. It's all from the spirit. It's not from the mind. It's from the spirit. You're just like, I know something's different. I just don't know what it is. But when you find out what it is, then it makes a lot of sense. That's why I make these videos. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed and you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and comment anything below. God bless you guys.